Spring-Senura na. Senura, dahil Senura having about him. Senura, Michelle, and that's the Marina shoes. Right, yeah, covered back. It is very pressure for you to have a pressure ticket. Che ti qualsiasi no? Fai niente? No, lasciare Aum Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samadhyam Keshavaya Namah Madhavaya Namah Namo Narayana Om Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samadhyam Aum Sastito Deva Usmole Janardana Om Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samadhyam Sakotam Keshavaya Madhavaya Namo Narayana Om Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samadhyam Aum Sasto Deva Usmole Janardana Usmadye Trayo Brahma Vishnu Nishicha Aum Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samarthayam Keshavaya Namah Madhavaya Namah Namo Narayana Om Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samarthayam Aum Sastito Deva Usmole Janardana Usmadye Yo Brahma Vishnu Nishicha Aum Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samadhyam Keshavaya Namah Madhavaya Namah Namo Narayana Om Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samadhyam Aum Sastito Deva Usmole Janardana Usmadye Trayo Brahma Vishnu Aum Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samarthayam Keshavaya Namah Madhavaya Namah Namo Narayana and again Aum Shri Hasta Prakshalam Samarthayam Aum Sastito Deva Usmole Janardana Usmadye Trayo Brahma Vishnu So you lead anyway, which part you had the cards are like inside. You lead, follow me.
Satesh Sookram pretasya Shripretatva iti Shridwarapindasya Temayidiyate Upatishta. Aum Adya Mukagotra Satesh Sookram pretasya Shripretatva iti Shri Achmanyam Temayidiyate Upatishta. Tau Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shipretatva iti Dipadanam Tema Idiyate Upatishta. Så de stupenda att vi presenterar den kalsa reading för det är det skiven man är going to perform the skat jag kan dependa on the kalsa Misalnya sorry apa sorry Namaste. Als wir gerade hier am Shanivar, as we gathered here, my dear devotees, as it is as this morning, as I was contemplating on some thoughts, is not by mere occurrence.
As it is said, is through our punya, our good virtues, you and I are gathered here to create that positive energy towards the Jivatma which have left this Sharir behind. As it is said through the Shastras and all the holy texts, that to live you and I may, but to die we must. And as we are gathered here, my dear devotees, death have no respect
for age, position, or fame in this world. Once you and I entered into this world of light in the form of birth, you and I shall surely leave in the form of death, Mother. As I commence this morning's ceremony, my dear devotees, I ask each and every one who can
to please stand at this point in time. As we commence this morning on GST Samskar, I invite each and everyone with clasped hands, closed eyes, bow heads, to join in Pratna in your own way as we pray gratitude to Sri Adiyamadeota on this Shanivar. We join in opening prayer. Aum Ayodhya Madhura Maya Kashi Kanchi Avantika Puri Dwarvati Gaya Sapteta Mokshadaya Ka Saptadam Stido Bhava Aum Anadi Nidanno Deva Shanka Chakra Gadadara Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Prado Bhava. Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. Om Prem Subalo Shri Adiyamadeota Ki Jai. Let's see flowers. Line it nicely on the coffin on the side now. So you circumambulating this. How many black till left? It had one open already. Sprinkle some in the water here now. Right, yeah, that's good. Alright, so you circumambulating around the coffin while you sprinkle the water while you go around 3 times. You all touch hands and follow him. Aum Pavitro Pavitro Sarvastangato va Yasmareta Pundarikaksha Sabbayam Taram Suchi Sabbayam Taram Suchi Aum Pavitro Pavitro Sarvastangato va Yasmareta Pundarikaksha Sabbayam Taram Suchi Aum Apavitro Pavitro Sarvastangato va Yasmareta Pundarikaksha Sabbaya Amtaram Suchi. Third time, right? Alright. So you're using the ring finger now. Philip, that's like the RT there from the match on Itari. Alright, Uncle. Using the ring finger, you're placing one chandan, but you're pulling downwards on the center of the forehead for a minute. Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Eti Shri Tilakate Maidiyate Upatishtatam. How, yeah, not any face. Aum Iti Shri Gandam Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. That's known as Philip. Alright, 1 minute. That's all counts. Take back the party now, Philip. Let's come here now, Uncle. That's why I make sure the 2 palms open for me. That one good. Make sure the left palm open. Then, alright. Yeah, the malas here. Somebody could just help pass the mala for me, please, if you don't mind. Anybody? Right, you take the mala, Uncle. You gala nicely for me. Hare Ram, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ao Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva iti Shri Pushpamala te Maidiyate Patishtata. Passi arti, na? Sarili. So you circumambulate narong the coffin while you perform the arti over the coffin 5 times, na? This way, right? Palata chance, eh? Aum Pita Swarga Pita Dharma Pittahi Paramam Tapa Pittari Pritma Panne Priya. Walking around, eh? Yeah, this way, sorry. Yeah. My bad. You perform it while you're walking, eh? Aum Pita Swarga Pita Dharma Pittahi Paramam Tapa Pittari Pritma Panne Priyante Sarvadevata Priyante Sarvadevata Priyanti Sarvadevata. Aum Ayodhya Maduramaya Kashi Kanchi Avantika Puri Dwarvati Gaya Sapteta Mokshadayaka Saptadam Stido Bhava Saptadam Stido Bhava Saptadam Stido Bhava. Om Tat Sat Om Tat Sat Om Tat Sat. Hare Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. You come this way and you go at the feet and you bow 3 times. Eh? Philip, you come right here. So using the ring finger now, you place a tilak on the same one, pulling downwards. Now, Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva iti Shri Gandham te Maidiyate Upatishtata. You take the mala from Auntie. You gala nicely. Look at this one. Aum iti Shri Pushpamala te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Devotees, you may ask on the Jia, take your seats. Right, pass the arti. You're standing right here and you're performing the arti over the coffin 5 times. Aum Shantam Sarvagatam Suksham Param Brahma Sanatam Rajiva Lochanam Ramam Pranamami Jagatpatim. You come this side and you go on your bow and the feet. You stand behind uncle. You use the ring finger. You place in a tilak in the same one. Aum iti Shri Tilakate Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Aum iti Shri Gandham te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. You take the mala. Gala nicely. Aum iti Shri Pushpamala te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. You stand right here, you perform the arti over the coffin 5 times. Aum Anadi Danno Deva Shanka Chakra Gadadara Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Pradobhava Preta Moksha Pradobhava Preta Moksha Pradobhava. Om Tat Sat Om Tat Sat Om Tat Sat. You come on this way and you bow at the feet. Same procedure. You put a chanda on the same one, na? Pulling downwards. Aum iti Shri Tilakate Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Use the essence. Aum iti Shri Gandham te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Collect the mala here, no? Place the mala nicely. Aum iti Shri Pushpamala te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Line in below the last one, no? Yeah. Very nice. You stand right here, you perform the arti 5 times. Aum Pita Swarga Pita Dharma Pittahi Paramam Tapa Pittari Pritma Panne Priyante Sarvadevata Priyante Sarvadevata priyante sarva devata. Come this way and about the feet. Right from same procedure. Aomiti Shri Tilakate Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Aomiti Shri Gandham Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Very nice, you take the mala, no? Aomiti Shri Pushpamala Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Stand right here, you perform the arati 5 times. No? Aum Veda Veranta Viraisha Mulmurtaya Punsan Mohan Rupaya Sarve Baumaya Mangalam Sarve Baumaya Mangalam Sarve Baumaya Mangalam. Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. Come this way now, and you bow at the feet. Thank you. And let's rest this one side for long. No? Philip and Mary Taria with the pin. No? Yes, I'm ready for me. Right, and a tulsi leaf and a flowers. Fit them inside now. Rest on the Tarina, Philip. Right. You all touch hands, eh? So I want you to place this pin there in the left palm for me. Listen, eh? Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Iti Shri Panta Pindaste Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Aum Iti Shri Achmanyam Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Rest back on the table, no? You bow 3 times. Right. Antique, let's pass the dolly for me, please. So, Philip, you have the dolly, right? Right. Thanks, sorry for me. Alright, devotees, as those who are familiar with Sanatan Dharma would know, in the time of death or Maran, we ought to seek guidance and know if the timing were auspicious or inauspicious. Referring to Panchak, or 5 days after the moon, where alignment of the stars are in a certain position and there are rituals to be performed, and if they are not performed in the parivar or the family of the past, the main, you will find the occurrence of 5 deaths soon after. So at this point, I am going to perform the Panchak rituals on behalf of Baiji. So the first dolly, you take it here, and you're placing it to the left here from I want to point out there, right? Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Iti Shri Panchak Marante Maidiyate Upate Upatishtatam. About 3 times. You take the second one going on the right palm, right? So you could raise the cloth and you put it on this now. Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Iti Shri Panchak Marante Maidiyate Upatishtatam. Third one on the left palm. Go ahead, bow now. Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Iti Shri Panchak Marante Maidiyate Upatishtatam. The fourth one going to be in the navel area. Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Iti Shri Panchak Marante Maidiyate Upatishtatam. The last one going between the feet. Aum Madhya Mukha Gotra Satesh Sookram Mukha Pretasya Shri Pretatva Iti Shri Panchak Marante Maidiyate Upatishtatam. bow 3 times. Right, you gotta come around the coffin and come on this side to face the south. You all follow him, no? Stood down here, no? Just like the fire here, no? How mayanta idma atma jata verastennaya swa varad swachida varad chashman pashibu brahma varchiseya nanadin samedayat. Om tat sat, om tat sat, om tat sat. Good. Right, you perform Achman around the fire 3 times. No? How madhya mukha gotra Satesh Sookram mukha pretasya shri pretatva eti shri achmanyam te mayi diyate upatishtatam. Like them back. Sprinkle it, no? Well, it's not for that. You gotta just pour it. Light them, no? Wait, put the can for light it so you catch. Bring them a little closer. So you pour in a little bit Philip. Yes, sir. So we now have at a swadha, you offer in all at once and then you go pour some more you offer again, right? 5 times, right? Om Prit Swadha. Om Prit Sakai Swadha. Now offer well and then you get it right here, give it more. Aum Pret Hatre Swadha. Aum Pret Payave Swadha. Aum Pret Hantre Swadha. Put the leaf right to the side anyhow one corner. Yeah, right on the side. Alright, you perform Achman again 3 times. Au madhya mukha gotra Satesh Sookram mukha pretasya shri pretatva iti shri achmanyam te mayi diyate upatishtatam. Alright. Alright. You all could come here and stand if you want. If you want to sit, no problem. At this point, I will call on the Dharampatni of Bhaiji Satesh, Rachel G, to come forward and place Chandan, essence, and Mala for her. She's using the ring finger, you place a Chandan, but you're pulling downwards, right? How miti shriti lakate mayi diyate upatishtatam. How miti shri gandam te mayi diyate upatishtatam. Alright. Give you the garland. Yeah, you garland nicely. No? How miti shri pushpamala te mayi diyate upatishtatam. You perform the arati 5 times over the coffin right here. No? How Mayodhya Maduramaya Kashi Kanchi Avantika Puri Dwarvati Gaya Saptaita Mokshadaya Ka Saptadam Stido Bhava Saptadam Stido Bhava Saptadam Stido Bhava. Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. You come around this way and you bow at the feet. No? Alright, devotees, at this given point, I will invite the close relatives of Bhaiji. Yeah, that's bow right here. Sorry, that's bow 3 times. Yeah, that's stand right here and bow right here. Just be careful. Let's put the hand on one side now and light it back. Okay, let's put it one side and light it back. Take a seat if. Alright, at this point, devotees, close relatives of Baiji who would like to perform arati and place flower, you may do so in a mannerly order. At this point, my dear devotees, if there is anyone in the gathering who would like to say a prayer, sing a bhajan, or say a few words on behalf of Baiji, you may do so at this given point. Right, the flowers here, uncle. And have on this side here. Be carefully cloth there, Philip. Huh? You want to do arati, sorry, uncle. Aum Pita Swaraga Pita Dharma Pittahi Paramam Tapa Pittari Pritma Panne Priyante Sarva Devata. Very nice. Sorry. Sorry. Aum Anadini Danno Deva Shanka Chakra Gadadara Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Pradobhava Preta Moksha Pradobhava. Sorry. Aumiti Shri Pushpamala Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam Aum Shantam Sarvagatam Suksham Param Brahma Sanatam Rajiva Lochanam Ramam Pranamami Jagatpatim. Aum iti Shri Pushpamala Te Maidiyate Upatishtatam Aum Pita Swarga Pita Dharma Pittahi Paramam Tapa Pittari Pritma Panne Priyante Sarva Devata Priyante Sarva Devata. Yeah, if anybody, tell them. If there is anyone who would like to say a few words, you may do so at this time, please. Mana Ayodhya Madura. Come up on this side, Napan. Come right in front on this side. Ayodhya Madura Maya Kashi Kanchi Avantika. Puri Dwarvati Gaya Saptaita Mokshadaya Ka Saptadam Stidoba. Go ahead.
Pleasant good morning, each and everyone.
Morning.
Friends and family and neighbors. It is really sad to gather in a time like this. And it shows that, how life is so unexpected. Satesh, Mom and I were cousins. And I know Satesh and Danny, they lost their parents at a young age. But looking at, inquiring and, keeping in touch, I was so proud of them as young men taking that right path. That even though their parents weren't around, they didn't find themselves in negative things. But they were ambitious, hardworking young men. Honest, always seeking to do the right thing. And we don't understand why things happen. But the word of God says, trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding. And we may not understand why this has to happen, but God knows best. But I would say we were privileged to know this young man. Whenever we met him, he always had a jolly spirit. Always greet you with a smile. Love family. And I was talking to his uncle Vishnu during the week. And Satish was a person that, if it's 5 minutes self, he would come and look and just say hello. And I know Danny as well, and I know they will be grieving. But the word of God says, blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. And in times like these, we really have to trust in God's strength to see us through. To his wife who is grieving at this time, I want to let you know that you are not alone. And I know that this entire community and family is standing with you. And it is so nice that, to have the support of all the family and members coming out. And I want to encourage you, let it not stop today, but continue to be our brother's keeper. So God bless you all. Again, I know each person may be grieving in their own way, whether you're a nephew, a cousin, an uncle, a neighbor. God knows your heart and he will give you that strength. So thank you. God bless you all.
At this point, how
Namaskar, Sitaram, to each and everyone. Appreciating Panditji, members of the bereaved family, friends, well-wishers. Today I must say it's a very sad day, not only for the members of the Sookram family, but also the many friends, villagers, and well-wishers, as the death of Satesh has shocked all. It is with a deep sense of sadness I stand before you all to deliver a tribute on behalf of our dear and beloved Satesh. Friends, Satesh was a very disciplined individual and showed tremendous love and appreciation to all that he came in contact with. At an early age, his caring attitude was quite evident to all, and this continued until his last. Friends, the love story began early and blossomed into a marriage. Satesh married the love of his life, Rachel, which became his life partner. Satesh is a very enterprising and budding individual who was always independent, filled with energy, positive vibes, and was someone who never refused to assist anyone. He was someone, as he will say in local parlance, never passed someone straight. There's so much I could say about this young man, but I've tried my best to encapsulate his life in the foregoing. Satesh would not only be missed by the near and dear, but his friends, well-wishers. Satesh, you have performed your duty on earth, and it's time to be amongst the angels in heaven. We all know that you'll be looking down on us to ensure that all is well with your loved ones. Satesh has a message to all, which is as follows. In the journey of life, you'll meet so many people. Some you remember, some you forget. Some you love dearly. One shall live as long as just one person remembers. I may never get a chance to say goodbye. So be it. Forgive me if I have bestowed any hurt upon anyone, knowingly or unknowingly. The graveyard is a place with a loud message. In the rainy moonlight, you will hear my call as you walk. Being a flower, being a breeze, the fragrance will remain in the garden of faithfulness. The only truth is that I shall die one day, and the rest is a lie. On my final destination, a single rose will be final. The scripture says, to one who is born must die. Therefore, whilst we are aware that this is an inevitable fact, it is very difficult to come to terms with Satesh's death. It is our sincere wish that he experience eternal peace, tranquil moksha. Ram Nam Satya Hai.
Who would like to say a few words or a prayer on behalf of YG? I see we have the president of the Relaxing Trace Mandir. We hand over to you.
Namaskar, Sitaram. Coming after Bhaiji Samlan Suku, it's a privilege here to be here with the family. But in these circumstances, it's very difficult for most of the villagers here. Not well in my schedule, not too long ago, we welcomed Rachel and Satish was a very, they are a young couple here. It's very distressing for all the members of the Tidoxan Trace to attend this, this gathering. We have supported them, and Satish has been with a lot of us anytime we need certain of his services. I mean, most of us know him as a DJ. He'll provide sound system, he will come and provide transport, whatever it is we need. The family was here for us, and in fact, the entire Sookram family, they were very, very close and a very valuable part of this village. All right? It is shocking what happened here this past few days for us, and we are very, very sad. It will take us a long time. The members of the Tiloxin Trace Mandir, the community, will obviously provide support, whatever support for the family you all need. Please, feel free to talk to us. We are here, we will come together, and we have done a lot in the past. We will continue to provide it. It is really sad, and whatever support we could provide to the family, we are here for you all. All right, on behalf of the Mandir, we express our condolences to the family. And we will continue to be here with you all.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone again who would like to say a few words? Our devotees, as we are gathered here on this Shanivar once more on this Saturday, as I receive a message from DDG, Rachel G, I believe it was Monday, stating that Satesh passed. And to me, my dear devotees, I watched the message and I replied to, I think it was Satesh, mind you. I think you made an error in this message. And then she replied and said, no, Satesh passed. And I rang her at the very moment. It was very shocking, my dear devotees, for approximately 2 weeks prior to this event, he was by us, and likewise, all the speakers who spoke here this morning spoke about his attitude of gratitude toward all persons that he would meet. With that positive aura, and he stood there and he asked for me to come and perform a hawan for him. And I replied without hesitation, yes, I will set the date and we will perform the hawan. And 2 weeks later, getting the news of Satesh leaving this earthly planet. Likewise, my dear friends, life is said to be very fragile. And whatsoever, my dear devotees, is an elevated position, need that adad or that support, that pillar of support, which is none other than that divine entity within all of us in the form of prana, or the life element. And likewise it is said, my dear devotees, the soul never takes birth or never dies. It's just based on our karmas, our sanchit karmas, which are active in the pradab form presently. We are blessed with a certain amount of breaths, my dear devotees, that each time we would inhale and exhale, we came into the world in the form of inhalation, where it sounds so. And then we leave with the final breath saying hum, which refers to that divinity which is caged within this human garb, my dear devotees. And likewise, Lord Krishna said to Sri Arjuna, on this battlefield, my dear devotees, on this rough waters, what will be your pillar of support. As it is evident through the Vedas and the Puranas, my dear devotees, in the 3 ages that went by, Satyug, Treta and Dwapar, it was very difficult to attain the grace of God. And God being so compassionate, that house of compassion, He made it so easy for you and I in this Kali age. And He said to us, Nam Smaran, remembrance of His divine name shall set you free. And likewise, those who are familiar with Ramayana, it is said, Pahile pau pakaru Prabhu fir Ganga par utaro Prabhu fir Ganga par utaro. What will be our raft, my dear devotees, to sail us across this rough ocean, this Bausagar of life and death? And it's only when we seek refuge, my dear devotees, you and I shall set ourselves free. As there is a bhajan that said, Umare ka panchi urta jata Kyu prani Prabhu naman ga tare. That wonderful bhajan describes, my dear devotees, what is the purpose of having attained this prana or this life element? As it is said in the Uttarkand of Ramayana, through great fortune you and I secure this human garb through our past karmas, and this garb is none other than to sail us across this ocean of Avagaman, the cycle of birth and death, taking us back to the doorway of God. And like our Guruji reminded us last night, as there is a popular film song that said, Jo vada kiya wo nibana parega. Don't forget the promises that you make, my dear devotees. As it is said, on creation of the baby within the womb of the mother, exactly on the 8th month when God enters the heart of that baby, the child comes to a state of consciousness, pleading to God, take me out of the cell of darkness and bring me into the world of light. And when I come into the world of light, I will not forsake my duty in serving you. And Gita says, my dear devotees, Alasya tu pap hai. Laziness is the greatest sin. And most times, when people here are lazy or non-performance of duty, our mind run haywire on all the duties along this journey of life. But our duty along this journey of life, my dear devotees, is none other than to come to that pehchan or that realization, I am not this human body, and the human body is not I. I refer to the Jivatma or the prana element in the form of divinity. I am divinity caged within this human garb. And one day, my dear devotees, this bird shall surely fly away in the form of Maran. And likewise, Baiji here, I don't like to call him Ans, but everyone know him as that name. Along this journey of life, my dear devotees, you and I make many plans for many occasions and many events, but none of us pay heed to the reality of life, which is Maran or death. And it is our final moments of our life, my dear devotees, as all holy texts highlights to you and I to be Saudan, alert, along this journey of life. And it's at the final moments of our life, my dear devotees, that will cause that kranti or that transformation to break us out of this wheel, chakra wheel, this kala chakra, this wheel of time. And you and I ought to know when is the time to do it. And like it is said, yesterday have be deceived me and gone, and tomorrow is just an illusion. All I have is the present moment. And you and I, this present moment, my dear devotees, is the gift that God gave to you and I to utilize it in the righteous way. At this point, my dear devotees, there are 2 bhajans on the leaflets. I would do 2, and those who know may follow suit. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन का जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन का जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. जिनके लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब का यार सारी सभी है पराए. इनके लिए है कितना तूने दुख झेला, 2 दिन का जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी कर्म कर ले, दुनिया से डरना. पाप की अगन में खुद को काहे को धकेला, 2 दिन का जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. हरि की दर्शन को ध्यान लगा ले, जीवन मिले ना फिर ये जीवन को पाल. खेल जगत का सारा उसी तू है केला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. ये जिंदगी है प्यारे एक झूठ सपना, गैरों ये दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना. सबके रहत हुए मैं हूँ अकेला, 2 दिन का जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन का जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. Devotees, this wonderful couplet that is maybe sung in each and every funeral that you and I may attend reminds us, as the first speaker here this morning made a proclamation about Satesh giving to you and I a reminder about our purpose here on this earthly planet. And one of these verses in this wonderful bhajan says, काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना, नेकी कर्म कर ले, दुनिया से डरना. This human garb, my dear devotees, is said to be our highest out of the 84 lakh, out of all God creation. The human sharir is said to be the highest of all, having that been blessed with that 6th sense of vivek or discretion. And instead of you and I at times being carried away by Maya or the elusive power of God, we forget to perform our duty and roll ourselves back into the pathway or the path of Narak. And it is said, ye zindagi hai pyare, ek jut sapana. All that you and I can perceive through the physical eyes are said to be jut or false. And my dear friends, a very crucial point I would make at this point, that if you were to contemplate on it, it may raise your saudhan or your alertness along this journey of life. All the relation that you and I will create along the journey of life, my dear devotees, were said to be left behind. The only one relation that would be nitya or everlasting, my dear devotees, is that nata or that relation that you and I will build with God, that divine being. Whether you call him Allah, whether you call him Sai, whether you call him Jesus, or you call him Krishna, that one relation, my dear devotees, would roll us across this journey of our life, as San say, very easy. Like, there was a monk, my dear devotees, in a monastery. And on his final moments, he lost his voice, but somehow he mustered the courage to tell to the young monk who was sitting at his side, don't ever mind or hold in your possession a kitten, or commonly known as a cat. And he exhaled his last ounce of breath at that given point in time, leaving the young monk in a very confused state. So whilst the ceremony or the rituals was being performed for the monk, this young person sat in a confused gati and trying to figure out why it is that statement was made to him on the last breath of the elderly. And my dear devotees, he questioned another elderly monk why it is this monk made that proclamation before he left this human garb. And not knowing the history of this older monk, my dear devotees, in his young days he entered the monastery, the ashram, forsaking all the physical attributes of life, surrendering unto God. And at this point he left the area where he stayed and he went into the Bans, or the forested area. And there he had, these monks, my dear devotees, have nothing but just the clothing they attire themselves with, and maybe the books or so forth that they have in their possession. And there was a rat, my dear devotees, and all of us will know the nature of rats are to destroy. The rat started destroying his clothing. So the villagers said to him, why don't you mind a kitten or a cat that would rid the rats of your compound? So he pursued this and got one. After he got the cat, my dear devotees, he was in the worry or the duk to get milk to feed the kitten. So he then started rearing a cow to get the milk to feed the kitten. And the story went along that he had no help to attain help to see about the cow. Then the villagers said to him, why don't you get a help to help you? So he then incurred Dharam Patni on his behalf. And my dear devotees, the gist of the story that the elderly monk tried to highlight it to the young folk was, do not get carried away by the distractions of this universe and forsake your pathway. For at the antakal, or at the minute that our life force would leave this human garb, my dear devotees, as it is said in Ramayana, Shir Duni Duni Vachitai. We would beat our head in remorse, blaming time, Bhavi fate, and Ishwar God for our downfall. I do one more bhajan. Those who know, I ask you to join along. Jai Krishna Hare, Sri Krishna Hare, Dukiyo ko dukha dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो, और कोई न केवन हारा हो, और कोई न केवन हारा हो, फिर तू ही बेरा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर रे। पूर्ण कर रे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर ले सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, तेरा दर्शन दो मैं तरस रहो, तेरा नाम की माला जपते रहो। बहु सागर में जीवन नैया, बहु सागर में जीवन नैया। चन में की जय किनारा हो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. My dear devotees, the one important word of this first verse of the song says Asha in the first verse. The only hope that you and I have along this journey of life, my dear devotees, is to seek refuge in divinity. As there is a wonderful couplet that describes the kahani of you and I, Pinjare ke Panchi de, describes to you and I, my dear devotees, about the bird within this human garb or this cage. And one day, my dear devotees, this bird will fly away from this cage in freeness, in a happy state of mind. As it is said, all of us who are sakshi or witness to a bird in a cage, you and I would say that bird is singing sweetly in the cage, my dear devotees. But that bird inside a cage, my dear devotees, weep incessantly to be freed. And likewise, my dear devotees, this Jivatma which is present within all living beings cry incessantly to merge with Paramatma, which is none other than God Himself. And it is said that you and I, having attained this human form, my dear devotees, pursuing the pathway of Dharma, righteousness, we accumulate that earth or material wealth to bring us to that happy state of mind which would lead us, my dear devotees, to fulfillment of karma or desire. And fulfillment of karma or desire, my dear devotees, should lead you and I to moksha, emergence with Atma together with Paramatma. And likewise, that wonderful couplet describes, my dear devotees, one day as you and I are gathered here to a witness of Baiji, all that he have attained physically, my dear devotees, would be left behind. And it's only his pap or his punya, like we observe Corpus Christi on Thursday, and attaining this human garb, my dear devotees, is like Lord Krishna reckoned it to be the representation of agriculture, where you and I will root out all the negative tendencies out of our pathway and plant that which would be, bear us the fruits of punya or good virtues, and rid ourselves of the pap or the sins of this life. And likewise, my dear devotees, as I bring my short sermon to a closure here, The great Sri Satya Sai Baba said in one of his last lectures before leaving the human garb, he said, "Life is like a clock. Howsoever intelligent you and I are, none of us can tell when those hands would stop ticking in the form of Maran. Likewise, life is short, life is unique. Utilize it in the wisest of manner, so at the end of time, you and I would not have to beat our head in remorse." In one voice, we say, Om Prem Sabalo Shri Ariyama Devata Ki Jai. At this point, Eulogy. We'll have the Eulogy being read. Yeah. Yeah, you make it. The purpose the arena with the oil.
Good morning, everyone. We
Morning.
are gathered here today with hearts heavy, filled with grief, to celebrate the life of Satesh Sookram, a truly remarkable young man who left us
Now you can do it here, man.
purposeful. He was the cherished son of the late Rupal and Eulogy Sookram and the eldest of 3 siblings. He attended the strange village preschool and then Roshadagas Presbyterian. After completing his studies at the Barrampur West Secondary, where he was successful in his academics, Satesh grew up to become a very obedient, hardworking, ambitious, kind, funny, and all-rounded, well-respected, and he was always helpful to all those in his community, in his home, in his workplace, and those around him. After school, he started working at Nutromix with his dad, then left and started working at Point, where he met Rachel, his beautiful wife. In that moment, Satesh instantly recognized her as his destiny, telling Rachel, "You are the one." 3 years later, on December 6, 2015, they got married, embarking on what Rachel beautifully describes as the best times of their lives. They built a life together, balancing hard work and abundance of joy and adventures. She loved his boundless curiosity and his zest for life. His adventurous spirit shone brightly in his travels with Rachel. She recalls their very first flight on their honeymoon when Satesh eagerly requested the window seat because he wanted to see everything. This simple request perfectly encapsulated his desire to see, to learn, and to experience every moment of what life had to offer. Together, they were blessed with many vacations, allowing Satesh to witness and participate in experiences he once only dreamed of. Rachel also shared a touching memory of his first time in New York and his excitement to just hug and greet his sister and her family. Also, Uncle Pawan and Auntie Baby, who hosted them while they were there. He had the incredible honor of visiting the White House in Washington, D.C. with Steve and Sherry, and later exploring the C-5 Galaxy military aircraft at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. From adventures to new business ideas, he returned to Nutromix now with his own truck, doing transportation, not only as business or for business, but as volunteer work in the community as a music truck, doing motorcades, advertising Christmas treats, and so on. He then, together with his wife's support, became his own boss in the hydroponics business. Satish lived a life rich in love and exploration. However, he embraced good laughter, good food, music, family, lines, and get-togethers. He loved cooking for Rachel, and he was her make-it-happen person. They became each other's everything. Satish leaves behind a legacy of kindness, compassion, curiosity, and an unwavering spirit of adventures. His life teaches us to cherish moments, seeking knowledge and understanding your roles given here on this earth. He knew and understood his roles. He understood his role as a son, as an elder brother to Lisa and Danny, as an uncle to Aidan and Aliyah, as a nephew, as a cousin, as a friend, as a co-worker, as a neighbor, as a brother-in-law to Ronald Ramlal, Clint Prasad, Shanice Sookram, as a son-in-law to Mr. and Mrs. Ramlal, and most important, his role as a husband to Rachel. He stood by her and with her always. Today, if Satish was given the opportunity to give his final remarks, it would surely be to say thanks. Thanks to all his friends, his co-workers, his relatives, his neighbors, his cousins, who loved him dearly. And he would also say thanks to all his aunts and uncles who stood as parent figures for him and his siblings. He would say to his in-laws, thanks for accepting me into your family. And last but not least, to Rachel, thanks for loving me and sharing your life with me for the last 13 years. Satish's passing is truly a profound loss to all of us. But his spirit, his smile, his laughter, his love, his legacy and memories will live forever, and it will forever reside in our hearts. Surely your time here is not enough, and you will be missed, truly gone far too soon. May your soul rest in eternal peace.
Devotees, as you have heard the disposition or the quality of life Satish has written on his behalf, my dear devotees, the attitude of gratitude most times are left for when it's too late. And as I stand here, I would not hesitate to commend Satish and Dani for the relation they shared and that bond. They had a very unique brotherly love within themselves. And they mightn't have said it much in words, but you could have seen the grief when Danny left Trinidad to abroad to further himself along this journey of life. You could have seen the grief that was within. For that bond they had is very unique, my dear devotees, and at most times we wait too late to say these words. And likewise, as I stand here, I would like to also commend this family, all the young folks and the elderly folks of this family, for in time of need, the unity shines brightly. And that is something not very prevalent in today's world. And as I said, attitude of gratitude ought to be shown whilst we have this samrat or this capability of life. Is there anyone who would like to say a few words again on behalf of the relatives? If not, I will perform the closing prayer. As I bring this short service to a concluding pathway here, my dear devotees. It is said in the Christian faith, seek and you shall find. And the Muslim faith there says, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And Sanatan Dharma, my dear devotees, it is said, Sharana Gati Amrit. To attain the nectar or enjoy the nectar of life, you and I need to seek refuge. At this point, I will invite the 5 Yajman to line alongside the coffin And I would invite each and everyone to please stand as we do closing pratna. Alright, let's get some flowers as well, yeah. Take none. Sorry there. And as we are gathered here, my dear devotees, I observed something that is very, very unique too. As I stood here and performed this morning Antyeshti Samskar and realized the turnout Satesh got for his Antyeshti Samskar says a lot about the relation that he shared with each and every one he came across along this journey of life. And it is an example for you and I, my dear devotees, as one Baiji said of the Christian faith in our wake a couple of years ago. He said, if you want to correct your pathway of life, my dear devotees, you sit and write your own Eulogy. And within those lines of that Eulogy, you would see where you fall short and where you need to rise. And I would like to say on behalf of Satesh, knowing Satesh for a short while, my dear devotees, he was a person filled with joy. He had that light aura, and he always had something positive to say to us along this journey of life. And likewise, my dear devotees, if we would inculcate some of these traits into our lives, even myself, we would make our pathway successful. In oneness, in ekta, I invite each and everyone with clapped hands, closed eyes, and bowed heads to join in pratna on behalf of the Jivatma which have left this sharir. We join in closing prayer. Aum Shantakaram Bhujagashainam Harbanabam Suresham Vishwadara Gagan Saddisham Megavaranam Subangam Aum Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanainam Yogi Vidyanagamyam Bhande Vishnu Bhavaiharanam Sarvalokaikanatham Aum Anadi Nidanno Deva Shanka Chakra Gadadara Akshaya Pundarikaksha Preta Moksha Pradobhava. Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. Om Prem Subalo Shri Ariyama Devata Ki Jai. There's the flowers in the coffee, no? You could empty all the essence and it have a perfume here if you want to open it and spring. You know, wait a few minutes now. Or yeah. Tell me when you're ready now. So, alright, devotees, you may take your seats. Sasan Lijie. Tell me when you're ready. Yes, for at this time, devotees, I will just give Baiji. He just requested 2 minutes of my time. He have his desire to be fulfilled, and then I will leave a short room for viewing. Those who would like to place flower, there are lots of flowers in a mannerly order. Here is Shell. The pet, the dog, and the parrot, right? Went to bring them after everybody. Bring them out now, because when they bring them out after, it might cause a show up here. So let them come out. Allergy with the dog. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, don't worry. You don't worry. I don't worry. Alright. He going to bring the bird and me.
coming boy. Let's sit down. Excited boy. Excited boy.
Devotees, those who would like to get a final view and perform their flowers, for those who would like to place flowers, you may do so in a mannerly order at this point. These are everybody rotating. Yeah, returning card.
Alright, boy, you're going there, boy, call. Rest.
Just hold on, come on.
Come.
क्या है मिलना क्या बिछड़ना नहीं है याद हमको ऊंचे में दिल के जब से आए सिर्फ दिल की जमी है याद हमको इसी जब हम न होंगे तब हमारी बात पे तुम रुकोगे चलते चलते अश्कों से भीगी चांदनी में एक सदा सी सुनोगे